Let me try it. Rafał.
Oh yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah, is that close?
Yeah, that's quite close. Yeah.
All right, let's do it. In that case, I'm gonna try and get it right. Oh, and what's the product called?
It's
Just
it
Matrix
really
Blog.
doesn't have a good name. I just called it Matrix blog because it is a
That's what it
blog
is.
posted on Matrix,
That's
but it's not a really good name.
that's fine. That's fine. Don't worry. All right, let's do it. Let's say hey, hey Matrix Live. I'm here with Rafał. Have I got that right?
Almost.
Not quite. Oh. You may have seen him around the Matrix front. He's sometimes posting as Evol, and he's produced the Matrix blog backend, which is really fun. So hello.
Hello.
Where are you in the world, Rafał?
So I live. I'm originally from Poland, but since a couple of years I live in Switzerland.
Right. Cool. And you're working. You're doing software development. What are your kind of interests? What are your technical background before this?
Oh man, I did a lot of things. I started as a software, not as a software, as a front end developer,
Mm-hmm.
and I kind of this is like my niche that I'm working with, but I do basically whatever gets. So I did iOS apps, I did like backend,
Mm-hmm.
I like at night sometimes I dabble with C++,
Okay.
and I'm trying to like do like a generative art project stuff.
Oh yeah. Cool. So you basically are interested in anything software. It sounds to me.
Pretty much,
All right.
pretty much.
Cool. All right. Let's carry on. So you okay? But decentralization has become a recent interest, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah. So you came in to discover Matrix. You said via XMPP, or you were working with XMPP before.
Yeah.
Uh,
So
it's okay.
I
You can talk about XMPP here. It's fine.
okay, that's great. So I discovered it's actually funny because I didn't discover Matrix via XMPP. I discovered Matrix around 2018
Mm.
because I wanted to have an IRC client.
Hmm.
So
What you
well,
wanted to make one of your own?
not really. I just wanted to have like a modern IRC client
I
and
see.
have it on my phone and stuff.
Right.
And that there were no solution that really cut it. And I discovered Matrix,
Mm-hmm.
and that Matrix has had the concept of bridges,
Mm-hmm.
and there was an IRC bridge. So that's how I set up my home server.
Mm-hmm.
And since then, well, I've been connected to IRC through Matrix. And over time, I started doing like more and more with it. Um, so in XMPP, like why the connection to XMPP? I really like about Matrix that it tries to kind of achieve what was very close for me with XMPP
Mm-hmm.
back in the like back in high school.
Mm.
There was the heyday of everybody was on different messaging apps,
Right.
pretty much like today.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you could XMPP was this thing that could have this concept of transports, right? You
Mm-hmm.
could bridge it and talk to people from different apps, just like Matrix does, right? So I was using XMPP quite a lot and talking to all of my friends, and
Mm-hmm.
major competing apps like Google Talk, Facebook even was using XMPP as their
Right.
backend. So it
Absolutely.
really felt like the future.
Yeah.
Uh, and
Right.
then
Okay. Yeah. But I mean, things. History took its course,
yes,
and yeah, you're on Matrix Live now. So, let's talk about your project though, which is it's a blog, and what it really is using Matrix as a data store.
yes.
To power. I mean, you can power anything with Matrix, of course, but you've chosen to create a blog engine. What I want to hear about is there something beyond just because you can here, or is that the whole reason?
So Yeah, because I can, because that's what I wrote in the blog
That's
post.
the number one reason for almost anything. But there must be something else.
So, well, really, I really wanted to start a blog, and I know it's not like inventing like how to make Matrix a data store for a blog is not probably the most orthodox way to start a blog, but
It makes for a good first post, though.
Exactly. So I wanted to start a blog, but I didn't have a good first post. So I figured, well, it would be fun and quite meta to, make a blog and start the first post describing how I did the blog. And, when I did it on Matrix, it also like had this interesting aspect of interesting technology. And well, also while developing the Matrix blog thing, I realized that you could really use Matrix as a generic data store. It kind of makes similarities to like this architecture called event sourcing, and that kind of opened my mind that it might not actually be that weird of a thing that I did, right?
Yeah, quite right. So the idea here is to have a generic data store, of which the blog engine is simply a renderer, really. And why don't you talk us through about how it works? I had a play with it, but I don't really remember the details. As I recall, the first message event is the post, but the metadata comes from somewhere else.
Yes. So the Matrix blog works like this. The base idea is that a single Matrix room is how do you call it? A blog post, basically.
Yeah.
And the Matrix protocol actually provides a lot of metadata that you can use. Like rooms have display names. They also have topics, and they also have all the messages. And so while you could post different kinds of event types, it turns out that the protocol itself gives you a lot to work with. So a single blog post is basically a room with the title is the display name. There's a summary in the topic, so that maps very nicely, and that is actually there's also the room alias, right?
Which is used for the slug.
Which is used for the slug, exactly.
Okay.
And that's, I kind of implemented also like a crude version of publishing and unpublishing. If you have an alias, then published.
Gotcha. Okay. So I was playing with this quite late last night, and I was figuring out the different features. One of the things I liked was that you have your own state event that points to an event ID that contains the blog content, which I suppose means that you could edit that and have it point to something else, or edit the original post.
Yeah, that is true, but so I do use a custom event currently for the like post content, but that is always always the first message, and that's actually an artifact of how I iterated on this.
Okay.
Initially, I thought that the event ID of the first message will change over time as you edit, right? When you edit, you actually post a new message. That replaces it, right?
Right.
But that's not the case.
Yeah. Well, aggregations can edit the original message. Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, but the event ID stays there. So actually, my custom event is even redundant, and that's why I didn't even describe it in the blog post, really.
Oh, okay. That's what was tripping me up when I was implementing it yesterday.
Actually, we fixed it.
So, well, I mean, let's not worry about that. So the other thing that I liked was your use of spaces.
Yes.
So as I recall, the space contains the blog, and then rooms within that are the posts.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's such a natural fit.
Exactly, right?
Yeah.
When I learned about spaces, that was like, okay, so if rooms have if rooms are the blog posts, well then a space can be the entire blog, and it just clicked. I didn't think about it much. It just
I mean, and it calls up really simple data structures to mind, like categories on the blog, multiple spaces, or even subspaces within a larger space.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could implement all kinds of things. The other thought I had, and I think people have actually commented this in the room of yours, is what about comments? Because there are blog comment systems. We're working with a group called Cactus Comments, who are doing some really cool stuff. Have you had any thoughts on that?
Sure. Cactus is doing a really great job, and I actually watched the Matrix live with them, and I was impressed what they're doing. And what I'm doing is sort of similar, but also sort of orthogonal, right? You can, like the blog, when you render the blog as on a website, really, you can put Cactus there, right? And just have use that as the comment system.
And it could be just coincidental that it's both two systems backed by Matrix, yeah.
Exactly.
Right, okay.
But since a single blog post is a matrix room, well, you can just use the other messages as the comments.
Exactly.
So that like also follows naturally from the simple data structure. So if you wanted to embed comments, you'd have to make a comment form that or reads from the room. Question is, one thing I was concerned with was authentication and a little bit abuse, because all comment systems get abused pretty much very widely. And this is why I didn't want to really bother with comments on my own blog.
Oh yeah, for your own, yeah, I can see that makes sense. But I mean, with Matrix, you get the benefit of the decentralized moderation. There's already tools like Molnir, and just in general, if your blog post is another room on a network, which I still, I realize that we've been selling the same idea for years, but I still find that idea awesome, that it's just a room, and you can access the data from anywhere. Then you've got the benefits there that people can chat in the room, and that's rendered as comments. I mean, potentially that's something you might not want, but it's just a nice thought.
Yes.
The other thing that will benefit there is threading, which I think it's been on the roadmap, but I think it's actually on the next column now, so it should be coming on. Yeah, it should be. We should see something fun there. But anyway, you can simulate that using replies without. Yeah. Well, it's not brilliant, but it does work. All right. Oh God, I've already forgotten the name. Rafał. Tell me again.
Rafał.
Rafał. No. All right. Close. I'm trying, I promise. All right, so what other ideas have you got? What's on the roadmap?
What's on the roadmap? Well, initially I didn't have much of a roadmap. I just wanted to release a project.
Yeah. Hey, no. This is a serious business now, so you need to...
Yeah, I know. So roadmap. First of all, people gave me the great idea that people have that you can put reactions on the blog post. Right. Yes. So that was happening naturally. So I was thinking, sure, maybe you can like pull it in with the library and just kind of expose that to render on the actual website. Inline comments
so
is
that's
another thing.
Similar to Medium. Do that. Medium have the claps, which are like an advanced I guess. Yeah. Sorry. Go on. Comments.
Yeah. So inline comments is another thing. You can like displaying the comments on the site. Maybe even posting comments, but I mean that's something you have to. I would have to think about more deeply. Really, how do you comment as anonymous and stuff? And also, Cactus have solved this already. So.
Yeah, well, that's why I wondered if there was an opportunity to overlap there. You could almost run Cactus against the same room, but ignore the first. I mean, that would be the simplest deployment.
It would be, yeah. Maybe it would work. I don't know.
We'll have to connect you guys together. Cool.
Yeah. What else I could do? So the biggest thing I want to also build with Matrix blog is a so right now the library is completely stateless. It just hits Matrix and it basically pulls it in. But I was thinking if you can introduce some like in-memory state for caching mostly, then you could do a rebuilder job.
Right. Yep.
So then this would really work like your ordinary Matrix client, listening to messages as they come in, and basically rebuilding the website whenever an update comes in.
Yeah. I like it very much. So we use on matrix.org, we're using Gatsby, which works basically in a similar way. It regenerates from its own. It pulls in from Markdown, but it's really what it's doing is powering a cache which regenerates. That would be super cool. And we should have mentioned your it's quite new, but your admin tool.
A
little svelte tool.
So beside Matrix blog, which is the library itself, there are also two other code bases. One of which I already released. Another one I haven't, but probably also should clean it up and release. So the other one is the admin tool, and that was it's basically your admin panel where you can write posts and you can edit them and publish, unpublish.
Yep.
I figured, well, if I want to write blog posts, I don't want to, do API calls with curl all the time because it's not really a natural way to write a blog.
Why wouldn't you just use a client? Why not just use the Element client? Why do you need a separate? I mean, when I was testing it myself, that's what I did. I just made a space and a room.
Well, you could.
Okay.
That's the beauty of the model, right? You can, but I wanted to have like a live Markdown preview. I wanted the slugs to be generated, and basically I over-engineered it all. And honestly, Svelte is a pretty interesting technology as well. So I wanted to play around with it, and well, that's how the admin panel came up to life.
Yeah. And what's the other code base you were talking about?
The other code base is really the blog website itself.
Right, gotcha.
So, yeah, that one is using a Matrix blog to connect it to Eleventy, which is another static site generator. You could connect it to Gatsby if you want.
Yeah.
But I picked Eleventy because it had a funny name.
Didn't that come from WordPress? Wasn't that a WordPress theme at some point? No? Oh, I don't know. I'm obviously very confused.
I don't know. So Eleventy, and that basically pulls in posts and generate a website out of it.
That's cool. All right, we're looking forward to seeing more of this, and especially now, I want to see you using this blog for topics other than the blog system itself, because that's the real test of whether it works. Is whether you keep going with it.
Yes.
Thank you for sharing it. Is there anything else you wanted to add while you've got a forum here?
I mean, check out the blog itself. It's evolved.systems. I'm going to post about random stuff over there. Maybe even with images. I just realized I also wanted to add image upload there.
Yeah, forgot about that. Yeah. How would that work? As separate events, or you want to inline them?
I want to, you can. I think you can upload images separately to Synapse and basically Matrix.
Yep.
And just reference them with image tags.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Yeah.
Super.
Yeah, check out my blog. I don't have a SoundCloud, but check out my blog, evolve.systems. I'm going to post stuff there. And, if you want to contribute to Matrix blog, feel free to do that. I'm going to look at issues and pull requests. It's going to be fun.
All right, I'll make sure to put all these links in the comments in the description below. So, Evol, thank you very much. Speak to you again. Thanks.
Talk to you later.
Bye.